So after an abysmal first half from both teams, the Eagles come out at halftime and score basically 31 unanswered points to beat the New York Giants 34-10. And look, as horrible and ugly and despicable as that first half was for not only the Eagles but the Giants as well, the Eagles were able to get the ship right and get the job done. Simple as that. That's all you can ask for right now. Yeah, Jalen Hurts was off in that first half. He didn't look good. He was missing plays. And probably should have gotten picked off and had a few turnovers. He honestly should have. But the fact of the matter is he didn't. The Eagles got quite a few breaks early on, which could have gone the Giants' favor and gotten them going like it did in the first matchup. But that didn't happen today. The Eagles were able to weather the storm, partially by their own doing, and they were able to get their offense going. The defense played very well for the most part in this game, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that the Giants really didn't have a quarterback. I mean, really, you look at that first half. What the hell were the Giants seeing thinking Jake Fromm was going to be ready and play well in this game? What the hell were they thinking? I mean, it was an absolute joke. He didn't look ready. They didn't look good. They were missing easy and basic throws, and it bailed the Eagles out while they were shooting themselves in the foot the entire first half. Penalties, dropped passes, miscues. I mean, the Eagles were trying to once again give the game to the Giants, and the Giants just couldn't get it going. They absolutely could not get it going, and a lot of that had to do with the fact their quarterback wasn't that good. I mean, I'm thankful for the fact they started Jake Fromm, because I think if they would have started Glennon, that they might have gotten going offensively earlier, and the Eagles would have had to dig themselves out of a deep hole again. But thankfully for the Eagles' sake, that didn't happen. The Eagles' offense, once they got going on their running game, they were able to just go right through the Giants. And it also this has to be said, that second half, Jalen Hurts played much better. He got in a rhythm, he made some plays. Yeah, there were a few jump balls there, but you know what? The plays were made. The fact of the matter is the Eagles made the plays that needed to be made, and the Giants didn't. And that's why the Eagles won. And when the Eagles got going, when they got that first touchdown, you had a feeling that the Eagles were just going to pile it on from there. You really had that feeling. Coming out of half, getting the interception, getting the offense in prime position, the offense going downfield, scoring a touchdown. That really got them going. And when their juices got going, when they got in the rhythm, when they got in the groove of the game, the Eagles just dominated the Giants at that point. It just became a domination. And one of the things that a lot of people have been complaining about is, well, why isn't Devontae Smith featured? Why isn't Devontae Smith getting plays? Well, where is he? What is he doing? Well, guess what? Today was Devontae Smith's day. He had 5 catches, 80 yards, one of them on a big bomb play, and then he was able to score a touchdown late in the second half, getting both feet in on an amazing catch by him. When Devontae Smith is making plays like that, it's really a luxury the Eagles haven't had in some time. The Eagles haven't really had a luxury of an elite wide receiver talent. And Devontae Smith is that type of player that you give him the targets, you give him the plays, he's going to make it. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but it's a luxury the Eagles have not had in a long time when they need a wide receiver to make a play and they have a guy that's able to do it. And for the past few weeks, it's been the Dallas Goedert show. And today, Goedert didn't really have a good game. He had a drop on the first drive. They didn't really look to him again until later in the game. It was pretty evident early on that the tight ends weren't getting involved and the wide receivers needed to make plays. And credit where credit's due, Devontae Smith made plays when they were needed. And also, how about Quez Watkins? Quez Watkins going up in that second half, making that huge play. Jalen Hurts puts the ball up there. He probably overthrew Quez a little bit, but Quez was able to make up for it, jump, grab the football, and made a great play. That was all on Quez Watkins. But that's also credit to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, a lot of times this season, has not been reading the field. He hasn't been trusting his receivers to make plays. And today, he did that. In the first half, he struggled and had his issues. Fine, whatever. But in the second half, he put balls out there. He gave his guys chances to make plays, and they did. His guys made plays for him today. And that's something that you want to see out of your quarterback. Sometimes when you throw an interception, it's not always on the quarterback's fault. But he's got to be willing to take that risk every now and again. Sometimes you just got to give your receiver a chance to make a play. And if they don't make a play, you tip your hat to the defense. And Jalen Hurts did that at times. Now, early in the first half, that wasn't the case. He had the one play in the first drive that honestly should have been picked off by the Giants, and the Eagles were very fortunate that didn't get called an interception. And they were very fortunate that didn't happen. But it seems the issue with Jalen Hurts, and we saw this on the Tuesday night game, and we saw it again early today, is that you need to call a game to get him in a rhythm. And I think part of the issue with today was you couldn't rely on his legs. And that was a little bit on Tuesday as well. It didn't seem like they were able to call those rolling options or those RPOs that allowed Jalen Hurts to make some plays with his legs. And it seems like those type of plays are what gets him in a rhythm. And if you can't call those, you got to figure out other ways to get him in a rhythm. Either whether that's throwing some dump-off plays, whether that's calling some screens, whatever it is. The Eagles have to figure out a way to get Jalen Hurts in a rhythm. It's simple as that. Because when he's in a rhythm, you have him at his best at that point. And when Jalen Hurts is at his best, we get to see whether he's going to be the guy for us moving forward. In a game like that, it was kind of a microcosm of the season. You saw a lot of the issues in the first half that we complained about the Eagles. They were throwing too much. They weren't doing this. They weren't running the ball. A lot of those same issues lurked their ugly heads in that first half. But later on in that second quarter, the Eagles started to get it going. Even on the drive when they had the missed field goal, you could see the Eagles were starting to get something going. You could see that they were building a little bit of momentum. And they built upon that in the next drive. They were able to get a field goal. And then later on in the second half, they were really able to get their offense going. But let's talk about the defense now. And really, when you're talking about the defense today, did they do anything special? No. They called some nice blitzes. They were able to get some pressure on from, which was great. We've been complaining about how Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon is not getting pressure on the Eagles, on the opposing quarterbacks. He's not blitzing enough. He's not getting enough pressure on these young quarterbacks. Well, today he did. He was able to get some pressure on them. Now, there was a lot of plays the Giants missed that arguably is because they had a quarterback they weren't used to, they weren't as comfortable with them, and they were just misplays on timing. I think the Eagles were very fortunate to go up against a third-string quarterback that was just signed not even that long ago. But you can't blame them for that. They did what they were supposed to. They basically shut out the Giants for most of the game. Yeah, the Giants got a field goal, but they were having good position for most of the first half. And then they scored a garbage touchdown late in the game. You give up 10 points in the NFL, you have a damn good shot of winning. And it was very similar to what the Eagles were able to do against the Giants in the first matchup. They were able to shut them down. They were able to do what they needed to do. The problem with the Eagles in that game was they turned the ball over. Well, today the story was different. The Eagles didn't turn the ball over at all. They got 2 takeaways, and one of them going for a defensive touchdown. When the Giants made their mistakes, the Eagles made them pay. And that's what they needed to do. And that's what they didn't do in the first matchup. So it's pretty simple. The Giants were god-awful on offense. I mean, they had to bench from and put in Mike Glennon. And Mike Glennon looked better, but you know what? He's a backup quarterback. Weren't really as prepared for him as you could have been. But even so, he still threw a pick. The Eagles defense did what they were supposed to do. They played well enough. They got pressure. And that's all you could have asked for. But looking at this game, my biggest issue with the Eagles right now is they're getting off the slow starts. They're not getting this offense going like they should, and that's a concern in my opinion. It's good that you're scoring when you're scoring, and it's good later in the game. You're getting in your groove, you're looking good, you're looking competent and all that. But early in the game, there's been too many times where the Eagles almost turn the ball over or do on the first possession, and then they're kind of floating around, not sure what they're doing for the next series or two. There's been too many times where this offense is just not getting going. And that is something that is very concerning. If the Eagles want to make a playoff run, which right now, as we're speaking, they are the 7th seed in the NFL. So if the playoffs started today, they'd be in. They got to be able to get their offense going. You got to be able to sit there and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's execute our plays and get the job done. There's too many times where they're not executing. There's too many guys dropping passes. That's something that's inexcusable. And it wasn't just one guy. It was the whole team. Goddard had a drop. Miles Sanders had a drop. There's too many guys dropping the ball when you need to get your offense going. Even on 3rd and longs, you catch that pass, you're able to get some yards. Maybe you're able to make a guy miss and get a first down. Maybe something happens if you catch that pass. But too many times the Eagles are not making those plays early on, and it's going to cost them eventually. Hopefully it doesn't cost them here soon because they got a big game coming up against Washington, who's probably going to want a little payback for what happened on Tuesday. But, hey, good job, Eagles. You did what you're supposed to do. You redeemed yourself against the Giants. And now you got another big matchup against the Washington football game in Washington. And this very well could determine whether the Eagles make the postseason or not. So, With that said, that's my reaction to the Eagles' win over the New York Giants. I want to thank you all for listening to the Prospects YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. If you agree or disagree or have different thoughts on the game, please say so in the comment section below. And with that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.